Welcome to Weekly Digest, where we highlight the works of ministers of government as they push the administration's development agenda. In the health sector, the government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Health, received an additional 12,000 doses of the US-made Pfizer vaccine to boost its immunization campaign.
The government and people of the United States would be helping us with how much vaccines we need, to do our vaccination program here in Guyana. And I think we can see this as a very strong commitment, because when other countries are struggling still to have access to vaccines, that we basically have all the vaccines need that this country really would require.
Residents of Wakenham have been urged to take advantage of the many training opportunities available in the health sector. Minister Dr. Frank Anthony highlighted the need for human resources in the sector. This is owing to the construction of new facilities and upgrading of the health system.
I know that you have a lot of young people in this community who are looking for jobs. If they have an interest in becoming a registered nurse, we'll be starting a program later this year where we are recruiting at least 500 persons to be trained as nurses. And that program is going to be a hybrid program.
We already have the ferry that was launched. The completion for testing will take place in September, and then we should be getting it down here. But the improvements will be, it will be able to carry 100 more passengers than the one currently carries. The speed to get there, you will be moving from 22 hours to about 8 hours travel time. So we're cutting travel time significantly. And the other thing I want to indicate as it relates to this to the people of the region, the ferry will be able to carry 2 trucks and 14 sedan type vehicles. So right now you can only carry 2 vehicles on the ferry at a time.
Works are moving apace in preparation for Building Expo next week. Government is gearing up for this massive exhibition that will foster building development across the country.
We have close to about 320 booths exhibitors have registered. And so we still have a few spaces, but very few. As you can see, there are different areas for where persons will be placed. So the 2 domes that you see here, those are the main auditorium 1 and 2. And then we'll also have on the outdoor some tents. And in addition to that, you also have the executive area where persons have rented the portion for the individual containers. So the response in terms of the booths going quite well. You can see, we're here early Monday morning, and you can see the excitement already. A lot of persons are around, ensuring that they complete their area. Behind me, you'll see 2 of the houses being constructed, the model houses. The 3 that you see there, those are under the Ministry, Central Housing and Planning Authority. The 3 we have, and then we also have some private persons who will be placing their model houses.
Approximately 295 local companies have registered to participate in the event. Approximately 400 persons who were allotted lands in Prospect and the Little Diamond have begun the process to attain their agreements of sale. The allottees are expected to receive the document before the end of July.
We've been saying repeatedly we want to focus on home ownership. And in order for them to achieve home ownership, we have to get them their ownership documents. Almost everybody who is here today have already been shown their lots so that they can move forward now that they have their documents as well.
Minister Rodriguez assured that the ministry will be working overtime to ensure other areas are targeted.
And a lot of times when people see a Dream Realize activity or they see the Building Expo, that is just the outcome of all of this hard work. This is the background work that goes into ensuring that people receive their house lots, that infrastructure work is done, and that the staff are working upstairs tirelessly to prepare all of these documents and paperwork so that these people can receive their ownership documents.
Some 300 families of hinterland communities are set to benefit from the implementation of a $750 million hinterland housing program. The initial phase of the program will see vulnerable families benefiting from the construction of homes and home improvement subsidies.
We want to move as quickly as possible on this. So we will be setting up a substantive department with responsibility for hinterland housing in the Central Housing and Planning Authority, because there will be required initial phase consultations. So as I said, the beneficiaries in your village, we won't determine that. It will come from the consultation in your communities. I want to make that very clear.
We started that we'll work with about 75 farmers to enhance production, increase their pond size, and see how we can develop the brackish water shrimp industry. And today we have moved from 10,000 kilograms, and last month was the highest, and I'm very optimistic by the end of the year we can meet about 120,000 kilograms monthly. Last month we would have produced 70,000 kilograms, and it had been increasing every single month. And we are only almost just around 75% of the project. So by the time we would complete the entire project to develop all the fish farm, the shrimp farms around that region, I'm expecting that annually we might produce like about 1.2 million kilograms of shrimp, brackish water shrimp.
More agricultural investment has been earmarked for Amerindian villages to ensure there is food security.
The REOs have been instructed to work with the village councils where those dormitories are located to provide contracts to these villages to start agricultural projects. I've also discussed that with the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, and we will jointly pursue with the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs the investment in shade houses and other agricultural projects to complement what happens at the dormitories.
Over $1 billion will be distributed in regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 under the Because We Care Cash Grant. That figure represents a significant increase from the $618 million disbursed in these regions last year.
We are very certain that the Guyana we want to build out is going to be reflected in your educated children. Like, we're very sure about that. And so while heavy investments are being made infrastructurally and otherwise, there has been a long-standing commitment about providing education and doing that equitably and equally.
Minister of Public Service is encouraging more Guyanese to apply for the Guyana Online Academy of Learning Gold Scholarships. Now for works in the human services sector. Residents from the township of Linden, Region 10, will benefit from a number of training courses through the Linden Entrepreneurial Network of Seventh-day Adventists. The initiative is a collaboration between the Guyana Conference of Seventh-day Adventists and the Board of Industrial Training, BIT, to ensure citizens access skills training, employment, and small business development.
You can count on the government, you can count on this minister, you can count on the ministry that I lead to continue to give all the necessary support that you need to make this happen.
During the opening of the National Tushaus Council Conference, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali presented the certificates of title for lands and extensions to 7 Amerindian villages.
Land titling remains paramount on our government's agenda. This speaks volume of the effort to address land titling and demarcation of lands to Amerindians across our country.
From the onset, government registered its commitment to Amerindian development and empowerment through the land titling program.
The ministry is pursuing the approval for 2 years extension for accomplishing once and for all the completion of titling and demarcation of Amerindian lands.
The operations of the Civil Defense Commission will improve as a $117 million contract was inked for the construction of a disaster response multi-purpose center. The multi-purpose center will be constructed at CDC headquarters, Thomas Lands, Georgetown. To effectively manage disasters, the 6,400 square feet structure will centralize storage of response items and to facilitate easy movement of disaster supplies.
The government of Guyana has seen it fit to include in this year's budget the funding for this project, and that's why we're here. Now, the government of Guyana in the past has facilitated financing for many projects with CDC, and it is my wish, and I did have some conversation with the PS on this matter, that this project must be managed better than the last project.
The long-term goal is to have similar disaster response centers in all administrative regions and to train regional officials and staff to be first responders.
So as we go forward with this project, that will make the CDC better able to do its job, to be more effective and efficient. It's important that we manage this project, both the contractor and the consultant.
Meanwhile, Guyanese were reminded of the compassion of the government, shown with the increase of old age pension from $20,500 to $28,000.
One of the key things we did was to look at how we can get the old age pension increased, and it has been increased. In fact, the increase from 2020 to 2022 has been the largest increase in the shortest span of time under the PPPC government.
Government's work in the mining sector in relation to safety is bearing fruits, having brought down mining fatalities.
For the regions that do mining, we have had enough deaths on mining sites. It has drastically reduced between 2020 and 2021 by 16%, but we hope to bring it to zero, and you can help us in that regard.
That's it for this edition of Weekly Digest. For these and other government-related information, do log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and our social media platforms as well. Goodbye.